So in this next part, I am going to demonstrate how I'm going to design like a fully functional prop. So let's for example have the person who's using the prop, just because I can. So I'm going to draw my character. Let's pretend in a world where there's a regular boy. Just make him some kind of, that's not Link. No, we're not going to do Link. Just some regular guy. Just have some character here. Some generic guy, because our focus is going to be the prop, not the person. Not that the people aren't important, but for now we're just going to make a quick doohickey of a person right here. And then, oh, what do you know? Person needs a gauntlet. So we'll have character A over here holding the gauntlet. Over here like that. And that's how the gauntlet fits. So in this instance, I'm going to draw the hand without the gauntlet. And then I'm going to, let's see, start a new layer and then just make how the gauntlet fits. Yeah, just like that. Boom. And just to see how the prop makes sense with your character. See? Because yes, you can have your prop, and yes, your prop could be a separate thing from the character, but if it's something like a weapon they use or a hook shot or whatever, or like any sort of weapon that, you know, that you need to have the character there showing how they move with it or how the character uses it, you do need to show your character and what the relationship with the prop is. Like let's say it's a helmet. So then we're going to have character's head up here. Oops, let's draw that underneath. Character over here, just regular old character. Doesn't matter if they're a boy or a girl, they're just going to use a helmet. Nope. And then they need a helmet, so we're going to go up here, use this one, and then maybe they'll have one of those like Viking helmets or something. How it fits. There we go. And then show the outline of how it works. Now when you're doing this on a regular piece of paper and not Photoshop, well someday if you do get the chance to use Photoshop, this is one way you can kind of draw out your character sheets if you're just starting out. And then, but if you're just using a regular sheet of paper, you can find other clever ways to draw over, like use a marker or something, like a very light marker, and then color in the shapes. But there's no right or wrong way to really do this, but basically, number one, it has to make sense, like in the first video. Number one, it has to make sense. And number two, other than making sense, which is part of number one, I guess, it has to show the relationship between the character and the prop. So like let's say you have like a gigantic robot, like let's pretend like a gigantic robot is up here. Let's just do that over. So you have a gigantic robot creature thing up here. Let's say giant robot like about this big with drills for hands. And then we have the outlines. Let's just make this some kind of random robot. Like whatever. Yeah, just like that. Let's say there's a regular person that's about this big in there. And then we'll have a size comparison. So this is showing the relationship, the size relationship between our main, you know, example character up here. It's like, and then, yeah, he's like this big. Well, that's a little bit, well, notice that it has to be the same size as this other guy in the robot itself. So, yeah, I'm this tall. Yeah, just real simple. You don't need to go super fancy, but just so it makes sense to other people. Remember? It has to make sense, and it has to show these relationships. There you go. See? So the relationship between the prop and the person who's using the prop. Notice that the three points, and I'm going to get into point number 3 in just a second. The points that I'm talking about, they don't have to go in some sort of order. You can flip them around and think about something first, in the relationship first, and then figure out how it makes sense. But like I said before, after that, let's figure out like something else. Or let's pretend it's a, let's pretend that sample character over here is going to be riding a, let's say the prop is a submarine machine or something. They need to cross over the cavern, and then they can't because it's underwater or something. So you're going to show, maybe in one part of your your prop sheet, you're going to have your actual prop or vehicle or robot or whatever, and how it looks like without the character. So there's all these little doohickeys. Here's the door, and then there's like other things inside. And then, so it's like a little mini car or something. Maybe this doesn't make sense as much either, but yeah, scuba underneath. And then you're going to take this and then maybe like redraw it. Find an easy way that's best for you that you can redraw it. And then you're going to take that business right over there, and you're going to draw the character inside it afterwards, because in this one we have to see what's going on inside. Of course, it's going to have to be a little bit more detailed than that. Maybe you could show another view where you'll see everything that goes on in the cockpit. But in this one, then you're going to show how our little sample character is inside. So then there's sample character. Whee! I'm going to go on an adventure. It just looks so silly. It's like, Grr. But anyway, yeah, just a real simple drawing of how the character interacts with the prop. See? So there's a steering wheel inside. Ooh! So you gotta like check yourself that all of this is consistent. It's not as if the character carries a steering wheel around with them. No. So make sure that makes sense. Because if you leave stuff out, like what I did there, then you're going to end up having to answer a lot of questions to the people that are wondering what the heck's going on with your prop. And then you're going to have to go back and forth like a bajillion times, and then this time you could have saved working on more stuff, you have to keep going back and then re-editing this stuff, which is part of the process, but you just want to make sure it's clear as much as possible in the beginning so that there's less back and forth and less people getting confused. See? Or in that case, let's do it this way. Let's say we draw it in another angle. And so we can see the inside of the cockpit even better. So there's the steering wheel. And then there's all this stuff. And remember, you gotta research. There's the seat. And sometimes not everything you research might come out clear, so you have to combine different things. Like, if I were to go to Google or something, if I were to go to Google and then look for submarine, I'm going to find completely different things that may not help me for what's going on, for what I want to reference when I'm in the inside. Like, for example, this, I might not want to use that at all because that's not the look I'm going for. I mean, some of the things you might. Like, let's say these, or this is kind of cool. You have to know exactly what you're looking for. So let's say you wanted it to look more like the inside of a car rather than like the industrial real life submarines. I mean, these could be good, but let's say inside of car. See? So this is what you kind of want to look at. There you go. Glove compartments. Well, this is like, I guess, the British or like non-American way because their steering wheel is on this side. But anyway, yeah, so you look at different things to research. That's right here, and then here's the seat. Then you can figure out all the little doohickeys, stuff like that. Just a quick, messy way of doing it. But yeah, so when you're making props. So number one, you have to figure out if the design makes sense, which we'll go into a little bit more in a little while because I think I might have left something out. Number two, the relationship between your character and the props that they are using. And then we're going to go into number three, which is breaking down the design, breaking it down, which I kind of touched into for this thing and this thing right here. But I'll get more into that in the next video, okay? So see you then.